Hello, I'm Pastor Jeffries, pastor of the Philadelphia Church of Universal Brotherhood, located in Brooklyn, New York, at 530 Eastern Parkway, right in the heart of Crown Heights. And I'm happy that you've taken some time out to be with us. Our theme today is Hope Remains Constant. And we're talking about it because we're at a point in our lives, not only our lives, but this nation is in a point where we have to heal. We have to come together and we have to help each other and encourage each other and show hope and concern for one another. You know, when I was growing up, oh God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, our shelter from the stormy past, and our eternal home. These words are some of the most meaningful and stabilizing effect in my life for years. When I was growing up, it was uh, one of my father's favorite. Dr. Jeffries used to love this hymn, and I grew up hearing it, and I grew up making it a part of the fabric of my life. I believe that God is our hope for years to come. I want to speak to us today on hope. As this pandemic is no respecter of persons, it is claiming lives across this country in an unprecedented manner. Nevertheless, we remain hopeful that we will survive, hopeful that our families will be protected and unaffected by this scourge upon our nation. We remain hopeful because God is not only our refuge, but He is also our hope and continues to lead us and guide us as He promised. He's willing to follow wherever He's willing to lead us as long as we are willing to follow Him wherever He go. Follow me wholeheartedly, I hear Him say, with glad anticipation, quickening your pace, though you don't know what lies ahead. I know, and that's enough. That's the voice of Jesus speaking to us, and we will be smart to listen to that voice. Be willing to follow wherever I lead, He says. Continue to walk by faith and not by sight. I know the way, He says. I can hear the psalmist say, honor and majesty are before Him. Strength and beauty are in His sanctuary. That's Psalms 96:6. God says, sometimes I lead you up a mountain with only my hand to support you. The higher you climb, the more spectacular the view becomes. Also, the more keenly you sense your separation from the world and all its problems. This frees you to experience exuberantly the joyous reality of my presence, God says. Give yourself wholly to these glorious moments, awash in dazzling light. I will eventually lead you down the mountain back into community with others. But let my light continue to shine within you as you walk among people again. Jesus is the light of the world. I want us to remember that. Jesus is the light of the world. And we who follow Him shall never walk in darkness. John 8:12 says that. And in Psalms 36, verse 9, it tells us, For with thee is the fountain of life, and in thy light shall we see light. Hope remains constant in our lives because Jesus is our hope. Jesus says, I will not leave you without hope. That's a promise. I will not leave you without hope. The songwriter puts it this way: my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest name, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. On Christ, the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. Dr. Jeffries composed the track for the Philadelphia Church Universal Brotherhood when we were giving out tracks just before the pandemic. I believe we gave this one out last year sometime, but it was named, the title of the track was A Small Dose of Hope. It told the story of a man who hit a stretch in his life where everything seemed to be going wrong. He said everything in his life was a disaster. He felt hopeless and alone, a lot like how a lot of us are feeling frustrated and hopeless and alone, especially as we're going into a second phase of this pandemic. A lot of us are just tired of being home, tired of being shut in, tired of wearing the mask. But we must remain hope, hopeful. We must keep hope alive and know that the best is still ahead of us. But this man said everything in his life was a disaster. He felt hopeless and alone and more depressed than he ever thought was possible to feel. One day he said he was walking to catch the bus home, and his head was down. He was fighting tears of despair when an old man came down the sidewalk towards me. Let me say it in his own words. Let you hear him say it in his own words as I read it to you. I had never seen him before. Embarrassed at being seen in such an emotional mess, I turned my head away and hoped to hurry past. I figured he would walk by and he would not notice me, but he moved and kept moving until he was directly in front of me. He waited until I looked up and then he smiled. Looking into my eyes, this stranger spoke in a quiet voice. He said, whatever is wrong will pass. You're going to be okay. Just hang on. He then smiled again and walked away. I can't explain the impact of that moment, of that man's unexpected kindness and unconditional feeling he gave me. The one thing I'd lost completely, he gave me hope. I looked for him at the bus stop, stopped to thank him, but I never saw him again. That was 30 years ago, and I've never forgotten that moment over the years, he says. Whenever I see someone in distress, I think of that old man and try to give a glimmer of hope in the dark wherever I can. We are at a place in our lives in this country. We're at a crossroads where we all must show compassion, where we all must show love and concern for each other. We have to see how we can help one another. We are one family. It's called the human family. And as we lived together, we must show concern for one another. One human family. And we must offer hope to each other in this time of confusion and turmoil. We still have hope. So I encourage us to keep our heads up and do what we know. What do I mean by that? Do what we know. I mean, do the right thing. Show forth love. Show forth understanding. Show forth caring and compassion for one another. Think positively. See the end of your faith. Picture where you want to be positively this time next year. Make plans for the year going forward. Make plans of where you want to be, where you want to see yourself with your family. And pray those conditions, pray those visions, pray your hopes, and ask the Lord to bring them to pass. He has promised never to leave you alone, and He will be with you. So I want you to make sure that you keep that in mind. I want you to keep your head up, and I want you to keep on pushing, because we've come to the place where our thoughts are things. We know that. And we know that we create with our thoughts and we create with our words. So think big and speak positively as we move forward. I also want to take the time to invite you to our Zoom celebration. Our Zoom services are on Saturdays at 11:30. I'd like you to contact us at PCUB Sabbath Cathedral at gmail.com. Again, that's PCUB Sabbath Cathedral at gmail.com. And we'll give you the contact information or how you can get on to the Zoom service. It's uplifting. We're like a family type nature. It will build you up and cause to help give you hope. And we're looking forward for you to be with us. In the meantime, I want you to know that the best is yet to come. Keep your head up and be a help and a hope to those that you come in contact with. If this message did any good for you, I want you to give us the thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, but most importantly, I want you to pass it on so someone else is blessed and we can grow in love and faith together. Until next week, this time I'm signing off saying, remember, the best is yet to come. God bless you, and I will see you